All right, so in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a 3D video that you can use to build interactive videos in your e-learning courses. So what we're going to do is show you something that I did. This is in a RISE course. So if we do the Explore the Rover, and we come into this lesson, you'll notice when I come down here, this is actually a storyline file. And when I click on that, I have this 3D model of the rover, and I click on this, and you can see that the rover animates, rotates, and then I can review information on there and hit back, and then it rotates back, and so forth. So as I go through that, you can see how that works. Now, just looking at this, this is basically just a video that I created in PowerPoint. So I'm going to show you, that's what we're going to focus on in this tutorial. So we have a video that I created in PowerPoint. Basically, this video starts in the starting position. So this is actually an image. And when I click on one of these tabs, it jumps to a layer which plays the video that we're going to create. So it jumps to a layer. So let's say we want to focus on the cameras. So click on it, jumps to a layers, and then I'm in position to highlight features on that rover. So what happens is it jumps to the layer, the video goes about halfway, it pauses. This trigger right here unpauses the video, and then the video completes, and then when it's done, it jumps back to the base slide, and I can click a different tab. So now when we look at that, we'll look at this one. It's basically a video where the object rotates in, and then it rotates out. So what we want to do is create the rotate in and rotate out video. We're going to do that in PowerPoint. So let me go ahead and move this out of the way. All right, and this is actually really simple. It's only going to take a couple minutes to explain. So we have a PowerPoint slide. One thing you want to keep in mind is if you're building this for storyline, you want the PowerPoint slide aspect ratio to be the same as the slide that you're using in storyline. So if I go to design, to the design tab in PowerPoint, I go to slide size. You can see these are your standards 4:3, 16:9, and then you can create a custom slide size. If I'm in storyline, I want to make sure that I'm using the same slide size. So I can use a custom slide size, but I just want them to be the same. Or if I want to do 16:9, 4:3, choose one. I'm just going to choose 16:9 because that works fine for us. All right, so I've got my slide. And what I want to do is insert the 3D object. So we go to insert, and the newer versions of PowerPoint have these 3D models. You can insert a model from file. So if you have a 3D model, which most likely is what you would use if you're actually doing this, go ahead and insert a 3D model from file. And then what we're going to do is we're going to choose from online sources. So we're going to choose that. You can see there's a number of online sources. We're going to use the space, and then you're going to see the rovers in here. So we're going to go ahead and select the rover and insert the rover into the slide. Okay, so now that your 3D model's on the slide, what you want to do is think about what your starting point is for the model. And we'll go ahead and make this the starting point. And again, we're working on an image or a video where it's going to rotate into a position and then rotate back. So we need a starting point. So I'm going to make this a little larger so it fits the slide better. What's really cool about, we're actually going to do this, let's make it a little smaller. Let's say, because I would normally have some room for my tabs, right? So we've got our 3D model here. This is our starting point, and then in storyline we'll have something we can click, and then we want to rotate it into position. So let's say in this case we want it to show the back end of the model. So I'm going to duplicate the slide and actually duplicate it twice because I want to have starting point, rotate in, ending point. So the ending point and the starting point are going to be the same. So I'm going to take this second slide, that's our rotation, and then it's just a matter of where do I want to rotate it to. So let's say I want to rotate it like this, and I can move it, really doesn't matter, right? And now if we go here, it's going to come to here, and it's going to come to here. Now to get that rotation, we're going to use the morph transition. So I'm going to select all three slides. So we have that. We're going to go to transitions, and again, the new versions of PowerPoint have morph. So we're going to do morph transition. So now watch what happens. So I'm going to preview this. So this is slide 1. Go to slide 2 and you can see it transitions, and that morph transitions triggers the 3D rotation, right? Because there's our starting point on the rotation, and then there's our ending point. So the morph transition triggers that, and then we're going to go to slide 3, and that takes us back. So the video is going to be slide 1 to 2, and then slide 2 to 3. Okay. So let's go ahead and hit escape. And now let's see what we need to do. So we've got our transition set up. Now what we need to do is we're going to save this as a video. So to save it as a video, we need that transition to happen automatically. So I'm going to select all 3 slides. So we've got that here. And I'm going to go to transitions. And I'm going to come over here to advanced slide. I'm going to turn off mouse click. And I want the slides to advance automatically at, we'll just say 0.25 seconds. So a quarter of a second, it's going to automatically advance. Now, this slide, there's nothing on it. So once this slide shows, a quarter of a second later, it's going to transition to slide 2. Now, slide 2 has this morph animation. So there's a duration for that morph animation. And we've got that here at 2 seconds. You can always make it slower or faster by changing the duration of the slide. So what's going to happen is, if we look at the timing, 0.25 seconds, this is going to advance to slide 2. This is going to take 2 seconds to animate in, and then at 0.25 seconds after that, so 2.25 seconds, it's going to transition to slide 3. Slide 3 is going to animate back into position. It's going to take 2 seconds. So if we preview this, we're just going to preview this. I'm not even going to click the mouse, and that's going to automatically transition from start to finish. It's going to rotate in and then rotate out. So here comes the rotation in, and then 2.5, and then rotates out. So really cool, works just exactly like we liked it. And now all we need to do is save this. So I'm just going to go to File, Save As. I already have it saved as Rover Demo, so I'm going to go ahead and overwrite the one we built. So it's saved as Rover Demo. So now I've got my PowerPoint file saved. I want to save this as a video. So the only thing I have to do here is go to File, Save As. And what I want to do is I want to save this here as a video format. Now you have 2 video formats. There's MP4, which is pretty standard, and then there's WMV. Now for the most part, MP4 works fine. What I did find though is when I insert the MP4 into Storyline, when it makes that final transition, there's some sort of weird lag that happens where it kind of looks jagged, and I think that has to do with the way PowerPoint encodes the video as it's making the slide transitions. I did find though that if I save it as the WMV and then import that into Storyline and let Storyline do the conversion to MP4, that jaggedness doesn't happen. So if you're using this just as a video, I would save it as MP4. But if you're using it to insert into Storyline and you want to make it interactive, I would save it as a WMV and then let Storyline do the conversion to MP4, and that works really well. So I'll save this as a WMV. I already have a title, so we'll hit that and hit save, and you can see it's now going to create a video. One last thing you want to do if you're using this for Storyline is you're going to have that starting image. So if we come back to the Rise demo that we have here, see, this is my starting image. So this is a Storyline file, and the base slide actually has an image. And when I click on this, this actually is jumping to a layer that starts the video. So the video happens automatically, right? So when I click on it, we want that image and the video to kind of line up perfectly. So what I do is, let me move this out of the way. So what I do is I save this last, this slide here, the first slide, as a PNG file, and then I can use that in Storyline. So then I go to File, here, File, Save As, and I might want to say Rover Demo Slide 1, and I'm going to save this as a PNG file. So if you go down here, you can see there's different image formats. We're going to save it as a PNG file, and we're going to hit save. And so that's just this one, and that's just going to save this so we can insert that into Storyline. So this is on our base slide. We'll have a hotspot we click the hotspot, that's going to link to a layer. The layer is going to play the video. So that's how it's going to work in Storyline. But for this tutorial, we just wanted to look at how to create that 3D animation. So it's really pretty simple. If I didn't have to explain it, it's just create a slide, insert your 3D model, duplicate it, add the transition, the morph transition, and the timing, and you're done. And then what's nice is if I want to change this, so I save this out as, this might be saved out as my antenna video, and then I want to focus on the back end of it, so I'm going to change the rotation. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect, right? And so this might be my back end. So I'm going to save this as another video, and then I can rotate this, maybe top, and then save it as another video. And so I don't really have to do anything but change that second slide. And once you've built this PowerPoint file, you can actually save that as a template. And anytime you want to do something, you just insert a new model and then just copy and paste it into these slides, but you don't have to change the transitions and morphs and timing and all that. Everything is set for you. So hopefully that helps, and you can do some pretty cool stuff with that.